It's another lens review. Today I'll review this Canon 28mm f3.5 macro lens for the Canon mirrorless M series. This lens is not mine, it belongs to Canon Finland, but I've been using it now for some weeks, and it's not my first time I'm reviewing this lens. When I still had my website, I reviewed this lens when it first came out, when it was a brand new lens. However, now that I've used it again, I really like it and I thought I'll share my thoughts with you. This is a really light and small lens. It's almost exactly the same size and weight as the 15-45 kit lens. It's not expensive, but it's not really cheap either. Here in Finland, the price is under 400 euros. The build quality of the lens is very decent. The only thing that really makes it look a bit cheap and feel a bit cheap is the plastic bayonet. It has an image stabilizer and it's a macro lens, and in the super macro mode it will go to 1 to 1.2 magnification ratio, which is actually pretty impressive. And one really standout feature is the LED lights around the front element that help you to illuminate your macro subject when you get really close. This time around I haven't been using this much for macro shooting because I'm not much of a macro person. I've used this more like a general purpose lens, and it works really well for that too. The focal length is 28mm, which equals to about 42mm in full frame terms, which makes it a pretty nice all-around general purpose lens. It's lightweight, easy to carry around, the autofocus is fast and silent, and it's really sharp. What more can you hope for? Okay, you would hope for a faster maximum aperture, and I would hope for that too, but it's not that big of a deal in the end. It's still about 2/3 of a stop faster than the kit zoom at the same focal length, and there's the image stabilizer that helps a lot. But granted, it's not your choice of lens for indoor sports or something like that. Although it's really sharp and makes really nice images, it's not very charismatic lens. You can't make those bokeh shots or anything like that with this lens. But how does it perform in macro photography? The closest focusing distance is only 13mm from the front element, and that's really close. But they designed it so that the front of the lens is very narrow, so it will not shade your subject too much. And then there are these LED lights that are actually surprisingly good when you get really close to your subject. Of course, on a sunny day like this, these LEDs are useless, but if I go inside or if I'm in the shade, they really work. As a conclusion, I would say this is a very nice little lens. Very practical and versatile. It's very sharp. And it can do some macro too. But then again, I totally agree, it should have a faster maximum aperture to make it more appealing to buyers. Even f2.8 would look so much better on paper, even though it's not that much faster in practice. It's pretty affordable, but I can't say it's cheap. I like this little lens and I have enjoyed using it for the last few weeks. If you're looking for a general purpose lens that can do some macro too, I think this lens is definitely worth a look. If you happen to use the Canon M system, of course. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.